reagent when you're going to big tech armies. So I got microfiltering because towards the end of missions, I like to just make a big chunk of battle cruisers and science vessels. And those are both gas intensive, so it's nice to get. Command center reactor versus automated refinery. I love that picture. It's eye candy, it's happy, and you save half a dozen workers per base going to minerals. But this allows you to get your economy up so much faster. You literally can double your production, and it's a no-brainer. Even though this looks so amazing, this is the better one to go with, because half a dozen workers is half a dozen food, 300 minerals, and you can easily make that up. An SCV will make 50 minerals every 55 seconds. So in just a few moments, you'll be able to make up the half dozen workers for gas. Science vessel versus Raven. Raven is such a fun unit. You can definitely make use of it. However, the ability to heal a mechanical unit efficiently on the go is such an amazing thing. Not only that, but ground, like roaches and zerglings, they can't even attack your science vessel. Granted, they can't attack the Raven either, but you have flying healers and detection. It is such a beautiful unit. I went through and did it with the Raven, and my games were a bit more difficult. I had to be quicker on my APM, I had to be more into it. You can mass up battle cruisers and science vessels and just easily wipe out almost every match. Tech reactor versus orbital strike. By the time you get this, barracks units are pretty ineffective. I hate to say it. Tech reactor, on the other hand, fantastic. You never have to wonder, should I get the tech reactor or should I get the tech lab or reactor? It's the same thing, hence tech reactor. One thing with the orbital strike, you can actually send in a flying unit in back, scout your enemy base, and then queue up a whole bunch of barracks units and have them drop as in like an offensive attack, which is very, very handy. But the tech reactor is more favorable in my eyes. That's just a whole bunch of that example with the orbital strike is fancy, it's cutesy, but it doesn't always work out. Strike turret versus fortified bunker. If you're playing on brutal, get the fortified bunker. If you're playing on hard, you should probably get the fortified bunker. If you're playing on easy or normal, either one's good. This one might be a little nicer because you don't have to worry about making sure you have marines. You can just put that up there, and it's a pretty moderate average turret. You'll be able to do some stuff. But if you're playing on brutal, get the fortified bunker. Don't even think for a second this is a good idea, because you want your bunkers to take hits, not be cutesy and do a little bit of damage. You want them to be a tank, a bunker. Perdition turret versus planetary fortress. Either one is alright. They both have their uses. If you make an early expansion in kind of a somewhat safe area, it's nice to have a planetary fortress to be there to take a few hits while your army can get there. It's nice to have that safety. Water. It's nice to have that safety net. The perdition turret, you can do cute stuff like this, but I would never have just 3 perdition turrets. I would also have a wall of bunkers behind that, at least 2, maybe 3, because these are kind of weak. They're great against the zerglings, but how often do you have such a convenient force come and attack you? You don't. However, they do have their uses. Either one's fine. This really, though, is not a very good ladder, or very good row, I forget, rung on the ladder. That's what it is, rung. Either one's fine. They're not going to make a huge difference. Actually 9 times out of 10 I forget I have the perdition turret. Predator versus Hercules. The Predator is such a fun unit. Oh, it is unbelievably amazing. I wish it was available for the Zerg in online play. It is fantastic. If you've never gotten it, just get it for the hell of it, because it is so fun, and you're only going to need the Hercules on 1 or 2 missions anyways. It's so much fun. It's mechanical though, so you're gonna have to repair it and not heal it with medics or medevacs. Although the amazing science vessel should be able to help you repair it. It's so much fun, and the Hercules is sweet. It can truly take a beating. It literally is a tank, and it can just drop off your army in mass, and it can hold like 10 trillion units. I got one for the Mobius factor, the one with the data core mission, and I just put everything I had into one Hercules. It is insane, but the Predator is so much fun. So get the Predator if you haven't, or get the Hercules. This one, a lot of people get the regenerative biosteel. Because upfront it sounds amazing, but the regen is really, really slow, and if you have amazing science vessels, you won't need it at all, because you'll have cellular reactors which give you more energy, and if you have a science vessel, that's more healing for mechanical units, so it just trumps regenerative biosteel. This sounds amazing. The first time I got it, and felt kind of foolish because I was like, because not only does this apply for the amazing science vessel, it works for battle cruisers, so you have more Yamato cannon, more missile pod if you got that, more defense shield. It works for medics, it'll work for a ghost, it'll work for everything with energy. It's such a good upgrade. This might be my favorite upgrade for Zerg, and my favorite one for Protoss is the science vessel. Actually, my favorite one overall is the science vessel. Close second. Third would be Tech Reactor, and Hive Mind Emulator versus Side Disruptor. This is really handy on the last mission because you know exactly where your Zerg enemy is going to be attacking, and you can just place one of these down and make them half effective as they normally would be. This is fire and forget. This one isn't. You have to actively be there, and it's going to drain more of your overall ability to macro and micro for that matter. It does have a lot of uses. I can see it being very, very effective, but fire and forget is fantastic, and 50% movement speed is such a big deal, especially if you had a siege tank right there. Bam shot, bam shot, bam shot, bam shot. That would be decimated, and that siege tank was firing well into what the Zerg had, or much later than the initial firing range. Oh god, I wish I could talk scripted. I wish I could talk today. And no, I'm not on crack or anything like that, in case you're wondering. So these are the upgrades I like, and I will go ahead and point out the ones you could get that really wouldn't make that big of a difference. Ultra capacitor wouldn't make a big difference. Orbital depot versus microfiltering, a little different. Essentially, if you go orbital depot, make sure you're going for a very mineral intensive army like mass marine, mass medic, a couple Vikings to help out with a flexible air defense, units that cost much more minerals than gas. Orbital depot would be better than microfiltering, or at least either one would be alright. Automated refinery, it does look amazing, but command center reactor is a little bit better. Raven, no. No. Starting with the top of the Zerg tree, this would be alright. It wouldn't hurt so much. Get cellular reactor. Don't even think for a second you shouldn't. Even if you have a heavy infantry army, you still get the cellular reactor. This, either one is perfectly fine. Here, either one is perfectly fine. My rule of thumb for the last rung is if you're playing on hard or brutal, if you're playing on brutal, get the fortified bunker. As I said, just get it. Don't even think about it. You'll thank me later. If you're playing on hard, you probably should go ahead and get it. If you're playing on easy or casual, either one's fine. You're not going to hurt yourself getting one or the other. And alright, that has been my tips and tricks section for the StarCraft Brutal Campaign upgrade majigger. Let me know if you have any thoughts, if you disagree. I'm always willing to go into a healthy debate. So this is Tyler signing out.